Hello, everybody. Welcome to DG360. I have said for a while now that there is nobody out there doing what Cloud Imperium is doing in terms of game development and the scope of Star Citizen for a long time, a little bit over a month. And now I'm hearing that narrative being repeated by actual Cloud Imperium employees. You're welcome for that talking point. However, I have seen tons of comments recently on my videos, Star Citizen in particular, and even some that aren't Star Citizen related, telling me I need to check out a company called Fleetyard Studios and that they are trying to do what Cloud Imperium is doing in terms of scale. Now, the game is called StarShip Simulator. So let me get my initial first impression and feel this out with you all. And if I feel like, yes, we're leaning towards it, the scale of Star Citizen and Cloud Imperium, then I will investigate even further because I love the idea of grand scale big MMOs. This is my jam in terms of gaming. So let's check out StarShip Simulator and let's see if we get that feel, the tingles, the hair's got to stand up on end, the whole thing, because that's how it happened to me with Star Citizen. If I'm not feeling the tingles and the hairs aren't standing up and applauding, if we put the microphone on, it's going to be one thing. It's either going to be this. Here, hold on. Let's listen to my arm hairs. Okay, it's either gonna be this and tingles, okay, or it's gonna be this, crickets. Okay, so let's see if I'm getting this from many people's comments. Many people saying DG, StarShip Simulator by Fleetyard Studios. Okay, let's go. You want me to imagine? I like that. I like that. Starlet, you're so quick and witty. God, stop it. Stop what you're doing to me.
Hello, and thank you for taking the time to check out StarShip Simulator.
Okay.
My name's Dan Govia, and I'm the developer behind the project. Now, I imagine quite a few of you might be thinking, does the space sim genre really need another new title? Won't this just end up being another clone of what's already out there, or a simple rehashing of existing ideas? Well, hopefully by the end of this video you'll agree that we do have something unique to bring to the table, which a lot of space sim fans, myself included, have been wanting for a very long time. Put simply, StarShip Simulator is my answer to one simple question. What would I do if someone handed me the keys to a real, fully working starship? Without any hesitation, I would just pick a random star in the sky and then fly off to explore its mysteries.
Okay, first off, I'm just going to critique here. Not feeling the tingles yet. The guy is like kind of the monotone, British proper, it's not impressive. It's not really, it's kind of intriguing me a little bit, but it's not really amping me up. The inside of this spaceship, if you will, looks a little bland, needs more lighty things and buttons. And perhaps weaponry of sorts, But let's keep going, shall we? Let's keep going.
And then along the way, I've been nosing around every inch of my new vessel to learn exactly how it all works.
I mean, like, if we're talking every inch, there's a lot of bareness around here. I see one area. These are the only inches that really matter. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's keep going. I need to be rational and fair.
And that really sums up what this game is all about at face value. You've got a fully working starship, a whole galaxy to explore, and the freedom to fly anywhere you want just to see what's out there. But if we dig deeper, there is of course a whole lot more going on under the hood. Let's start with the ship itself. Growing up, I really wanted to be an architect.
Okay, I like the walking around. It's starting to look a little bit clean, and it's the symmetry. I like the symmetry. Very clean, curvy, digging the feels. Very Star Trek, if you will. Sort of getting me amped a little bit more boosted, a little bit more improper, if you will. Let's keep going.
And despite ending up working in IT, that interest in architecture never really went away. So when it came to designing and building a starship, I really wanted to design and build a starship. Now, in
Okay,
a
we're getting
typical video
better.
game environment, there's generally nothing going on behind the walls
getting
and
better.
floors. It's actually just smoke and mirrors to sell the illusion of a real solid location.
The animations on the character are a little stiff, but I remember Star Citizen when in its first inception they were walking like Frankenstein, so I'll let that go. But so far so good. The space, the planet out there looking really fresh, digging it. I mean, like maybe something blue. I mean, like why would we? I mean, this planet looks a little bit like, you know, like give me some color. You know what I mean? Like make a pop. Like, you know, find a planet that's got some pop to it. You know what I mean? Put some spice up in here.
That's absolutely not the case here. Delve behind any wall panel and you'll find the ship's genuine structural framework, all designed in CAD software right down to the individual bolts and weld lines.
Oh, okay.
You'll also find miles of pipes, cables and conduits that are all fully simulated and critical to the function of the ship's systems. For example, turning off these breakers will kill power to the bridge,
beeps and boops, beeps and boops,
causing the lights and consoles to genuinely stop receiving the simulated electrical current from their attached cables.
Engineering.
If you pay attention to the readout when the breakers are turned back on, you can see the electric
beep, 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 boop, boops, motherfuckers. Okay, listen. It's getting a little bit more exciting. I'm seeing like some like electrical work here. Wazzy's like, please just keep playing the video. Wazzy, you know what channel you're on. Wazzy, I've gotta tell you the feels as the feels happen to me. Wazzy, you're on DJ 360. Don't shush me. This is my channel. God damn it, Wazzy. Don't even shush me. I love you, Wazzy. You stop shushing me right now. You stop it right now, Wazzy. I'm going to tell you the feels as the feels happen to me. This is TG360, not some boring channel. I give you my commentary. I tell you how I feel. The feels must be told. I must tell the feels as the feels happen to me. Wazzy, how dare you shush me on my own channel? How dare you, sir?
electrical draw increases as expected. This means the location where your ship takes damage naturally becomes really
No, it's
important,
okay, Mad Style. It's okay.
because that can make the difference between losing a few
Don't
lives.
tell me how many times I have to interrupt on this, Nikki's like every 10 seconds, though. You're actually adding to the interruptions right now, Nikki. You're actually adding to the interruptions. My feels come out as the feels happen. Nikki, listen, this probably was going to have like 3,000 views, but now I'm pausing way too much because of you now, Nikki. You see, you're not managing me correctly, Nikki. Okay, well, the capital shush is shutting me up. Jesus, Dragon. Jesus, you're a very, very violent person.
Lights, or losing your entire FTL drive. As you can imagine, if you're playing as an engineer, you'll certainly have a lot to be getting on with, but we intend for every role aboard the ship to be approached with the same amount of depth
Lucy,
and
good old
attention
Lucy.
to detail.
I love
Speaking
Lucy.
of jobs to do, we're planning to include 8 basic roles to begin with, from
Okay.
the captain to a simple passenger who's merely tagging along for the ride.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right from the bat, the character creation looks a little stiff. Again, I don't necessarily like that you're picking a role. Like, I like free form. Like, don't put me in a box type thing. I get it. I get this. But like, I want to free form it. I want to be my own dude. Don't tell me, like, don't make me selected. I'm going to be in operations or engineering and tactical and shit. Just let me naturally come to the conclusion that I want to do engineering, or naturally want to be a civilian, if you will, or a steward. I've always wanted to be a steward of Gondor specifically.
Roles to begin with, from the captain to a simple passenger who's merely tagging along for the ride. Each department aboard the ship will have a rolling task list, and both players and the NPC crew alike will work through those tasks to keep the ship up and running smoothly. The tasks themselves won't be arbitrary though, they'll be generated on the fly depending on the ship's actual needs. Taking engineering as an example again, if a component is damaged, then a task will be generated for that specific component to be investigated. A player or an NPC then picks up that task on a first-come, first-served basis and then works to resolve the issue. Don't worry if you have no interest in engineering though. The NPC crew members will actually be fully capable of running any of the ship's departments entirely on their own.
Okay, so far I'm hearing that you can either have other players or NPC taking on roles to take care of a starship. So far, I'm in it to win it. So far, I'm okay with this. So far, it's making me a little bit excited. But like, is there anything that happens on the outside of the ship? I'll watch, but here's the things that are going on in my brain as I watch this. Now I'm starting to get bored with the inside. Now I'm starting to think about the outside. Are there explosions? Are there lasers? Is there exploration on planets? How many solar systems do we have? Is this a multiplayer game with tons of people? Like these are all things that are colliding with my large noggin.
If you just want to be a pilot, or you just want to sit in command, then you don't need to worry about what's happening outside of your chosen role. In fact, and I happen to think this is really cool, if you choose to play as a passenger, then you actually won't have any jobs to do at all. Instead, an NPC captain will take control of the ship.
Oh,
There could be a massive firefight happening right outside the window, while you're just sat there in the bar sipping your favourite space beverage.
Okay,
you can just be like, nah, not my problem, crew can deal with it.
Okay, so if I want to be a passenger and just casually watch a space fight while sipping on some crazy alien ale, that's cool.
Yes,
You're fulfilling my role as just like an average everyday passenger sitting there watching a firefight outside, hoping I'm not going to die, but at the same time imbibing on an alien ale. Because, hey, why not? That's something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do that.
With that. The NPC crew members also play a big part in making the ship feel more lived in, with each of them having their own lives aboard the ship. They'll have their own crew quarters, their own shift patterns, they'll eat, drink, and even use the bathroom if they need to.
Okay.
You won't need to worry about
mechanics.
micromanaging them though, they'll just happily get on with it without the player having to get involved.
The AI looks very functional, it's working, and I don't see any of the AI standing on tables.
We're hoping players will form a strong attachment to their new home among the stars.
Okay.
So we're including many customization options right out of the box.
Figment, how you doing, Figment?
You can customize your ship's name and registry number, and this updates in various places around the ship.
Okay.
You can change the interior decor, like the default lighting used, or the materials used on the floors.
Dig it. Change those LEDs, man.
You can customize the colors of the UI panels.
Even in the future, changing LEDs, those RGB LEDs are very popular, at least 1,000 years from now. They're still going to be popular even then. I know they will.
Your chosen theme. And you can even enable ship-wide seasonal decorations depending on the time of year.
Okay, don't do that shit. That makes it too campy. I hate that. I hate bobblehead shit. I hate holiday shit. Don't do that. That's very frontier development.
We'll be expanding what's possible with this over time.
Just stop.
Because cosmetic options.
Everybody knows in the year 3050, there's no such thing as Christmas anymore. I'm sorry, kids. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't tell them. I'm not going to be happy. Yeah. Christmas will be replaced by another holiday called Zorks. And on Zorks, kids have to buy parents the presents. So on that end, hey, we look out as parents. Sorry, kids. Zorks is great for parents, man. We get the gifts. The kids have to buy us gifts, and it's a wonderful holiday. Again, we're not going to know this until at least 1,000 years from now, but it's amazing.
Just these will always be free and included as part of the base experience. The ship's interior will also be highly interactive, with every button on every panel performing some form of tangible action. I actually find it quite...
Oh, what was outside the window? Whoa. Whoa, look at these environments. Now, wait a second. What's that, arm hairs? What's that arm hairs? What's going on here, arm hairs? Oh, it's not actually the environment. It's just like
every button on every panel performing some form of tangible action.
Oh.
I actually find it...
Oh, damn it. I thought... God damn it. Ugh. That was like them landing on a planet, man. Damn it. Don't do that to me. See, now that makes me upset. That gets me upset. Don't do that to me.
Shame.
Don't do that to me.
Shame.
Don't do that to me.
Shame.
You gave it to me and you took it right away. Do we have this? Do we have this ability to go down on planets, or will we in the future? I don't want to poo-poo it or shame it too early. I don't want to pre-shame it, if you will.
Quite annoying in games when you're surrounded by buttons and switches that just don't do anything. So in our game, every single button will serve a practical purpose.
I like that story.
There will also be hundreds of physical items that you can pick up and interact with, and they will remain where you left them thanks to our object permanence system. That means if you find a cool looking alien trinket on your travels, then you can put it literally anywhere on your ship and it will just stay there, continuing to look cool until you decide otherwise.
Okay, persistence. Okay, we're getting me back excited again. Wait a second. Are these the amount of systems here? Hold on a second.
We want players to really feel like they're living and working aboard a huge vessel.
Look at this. This is so silly.
So there'll be plenty to do aboard the ship while you're out exploring the cosmos.
Stop being silly.
And speaking of exploring, that brings us nicely onto the subject of the galaxy itself. Just like the ship, the galaxy is also being built as realistically as possible, using real astrophysics and a true one-to-one scale. We can't explore the real Milky Way, so we want our simulated version to be the next best thing, with a realistic physical structure and scientifically accurate galactic regions. Every system you visit should be scientifically plausible and packed with everything you would expect to find in any star system, from star-grazing comets to an array of Kuiper Belt-style objects. We'll also have black holes, protoplanetary disks, magnetars, nebulae, and even
now we're getting into the real.
I'm actually really excited about the wormholes, because with them being entirely procedural, even I won't know where they are or where they lead to. We're all exploring the same shared galaxy, so I'm looking forward to seeing some community map-making projects.
We're all exploring the same galaxy. Okay, so we're all exploring the Milky Way galaxy. It's as scientifically accurate as possible. Vast amounts of space. How many people? Do we know? Do we know how many people at one time? I mean, with this amount of space, this is the problem that Frontier Development had with Elite Dangerous. I'm going to tell you right now. The problem is it was so vast that you would never run into another player. So I already see that as maybe a possible issue. It's kind of weird because I say this with Star Citizen where I want the scope of the game to be vast. And I guess let me define what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the number of people having shared experiences when I'm talking about scale. So let me be very clear on my definition of a vast, big, mega scaled MMO. I'm talking about the amount of people in an area that can have shared experiences. The more the people sharing the same experiences, the bigger the scale for me on an MMO. Not necessarily the area. Okay, so let me define that a little bit more for people wondering, the one of you out there. When we get into like an area that becomes as vast as the Milky Way with as many places to visit, here's what I get worried about. The amount of player base into this galaxy. Number one, is there no ceiling? Because if there's no ceiling, I'm happy with that. If we can keep adding players into the Milky Way galaxy, great, because there's more chances of people having interactions. Now, is this the type of game that endorses interactions amongst gamers, or is this the type of game that doesn't? That's the other issue, because then you're going to get into the PvP and PvE issue. And then you say to yourself, how do we balance it so that PvPers and PvEers can be in the same space? Or is this a game that's not going to allow PvP at all? Now, if it's a game that doesn't allow any PvP at all, I won't be interested in it right off the bat. Okay, I'm just telling you right now, not gonna like it. There has to be some type of chaos in space. Wazi's saying it is the game that does. So we will have PvP and I will run into you, says Wazi. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. Wazi says, my shared experience was the best. Wazi is really rallying behind this title. Cool, 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 man. Dig it, dig it. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. See you, Chuck.
Our simulated Milky Way is also going to be packed with life, with procedurally generated alien cultures scattered throughout the entire galaxy.
Okay, cool.
If a planet or moon is capable of supporting liquid water, then it will run further calculations to generate life on its surface, and also in space if the culture there is advanced enough. Depending on how old the planet is, its life could be anything from simple bacteria to a highly advanced spacefaring culture with motivation.
And will I have interaction with the surfaces and the planets, Wazi? Will I only be able to look from these afar, or will there be planetary landing as there is in Star Citizen? Will I be able to land on the planet? And then what is the gameplay on the planet? That's the other thing. Because if this is like an interaction where it's from space only, that'll kind of turn me off as well. So far we're getting to learn more about the game, and Wazi is a spokesperson. So it's nice to know that Wazi knows a lot about this. So when you're saying no, we will not be able to interact with the planet directly. Is that what you're saying, Wazi? That we're not able to land on the best you can say is no at this point. Okay. I wonder if it will be planned, because I think that's a big selling point as well for me. If it's strictly space exploration and you have the option to alter or work with the planet from afar, then maybe I'll still be excited about it. Like, maybe if they give me enough options to kind of work with the planet from afar above, then I'll still be interested. But maybe it's not going to be as hot as Star Citizen is to me on being able to have those experiences where you can have planetary landing and get involved directly with the surface of the planet. So that's kind of not a selling point to me, but doesn't mean I'm not interested. It still has me semi-interested. There's features to this that are great, but I wouldn't call this maybe as the same scale or what Star Citizen is trying to do,
It's far beyond human understanding.
Yeah.
Alien cultures.
So far, I'm not feeling the scope. I see that people are saying scope because they're talking about the galaxy and the immensity of the Milky Way galaxy. So, I see where people are coming from when they're telling me, okay, the scope because of the galaxy is, that's a feed into itself. I'm not trying to diss that, but that's necessarily talking about what I'm talking about when I'm talking about scope in Star Citizen. Yeah.
Will also have a wide array of procedural attributes.
So I'm not feeling the same scope here. I guess is what I'm trying to say, but still respectable.
Psychopaths that just want to watch the galaxy burn.
It's respectable though.
We'll also be procedurally generating their political structure, their history, and many other details.
I'll look into this more. I am interested.
Different from the last. And that last point is actually very important, because with a game that focuses entirely on exploration as its main hook, diversity of content is critical to maintain the joy of discovery. We're taking depth.
This is Elite Dangerous 2.0. Are you guys feeling that? This is This is everything I wanted out of Elite Dangerous. This is literally Elite Dangerous 2.0.
Of content very seriously, and depending on how well we're funded, our intention is to create a team of developers whose job it will be to focus 100% on just creating new content for the galaxy.
Ooh, very, very
I will not
beautiful.
personally consider our job complete until every single star system
I can see how you can get lost in this.
And interesting to discover. So
good morning, Yogi. How you doing? It's good to see you here. This is called StarShip Simulator, which is a game suggested to look at by many people that were saying that had the same scale as Star Citizen. I don't think it does, but I love so far what it's showing me. It's not giving me the tingles like Star Citizen did. It reminds me more of an Elite Dangerous upgrade. It's everything I wanted out of Elite Dangerous. We're not getting planetary landing, but we're getting a lot of very good details in terms of taking care of your starship. It looks like the NPC and the AI is good. It looks like exploration is good. And the only thing that is left for me in terms of being worried, Yogi, is the player base and the amount of players and the interactions that you can have in the game. If the player base is huge and there's a lot of people that gravitate to it and I can see people around me, then great. My biggest gripe about Elite Dangerous was it was 1 billion miles wide and 2 inches thick in terms of the gameplay. It was repetitively exploration to insanity. From system to system to system of NPC after NPC after NPC after NPC with different colored suns and different planets and copy-pasted stations and endless and same animations. And Elite Dangerous got way too repetitive and way too mundane. And that's why I left Elite Dangerous. So if this game can kind of escape that philosophy and bring in the people and me have shared experiences, and Wazi said he did have good shared experiences here, then I can tell you I probably will very much enjoy this game. I can tell you right now, I feel as if this is a good game for me, if there are these shared experiences with other people, because I think that at the end of the day is the key pillar to a good MMO.
Get out there and find this content. Well, most of the time you'll navigate the galaxy by first scanning the stars in the local vicinity, and then select a target of interest to send to the helm station. Alternatively, you can just point the ship in any random direction you like, and then spin up the FTL drive to see what you might stumble across. Our galaxy is a continuous, borderless, three-dimensional environment.
It's very well laid out.
That's another important point, actually, because if you pay attention to the stars outside of the window,
right,
you'll see that they are actually all drifting past in real time. This means we are genuinely traversing galactic space.
All right, okay.
So we can change direction whilst we're at FTL, or
beautiful visuals
anywhere at any time. Having an entirely physicalized.
So this is not an MMO. This is a single player and co-op. Is this true? Matt Sow said this is not an MMO. It's single player and co-op. Is this true? Is this true? Is this true? Is this not an MMO? Okay, it's an awesome game, Wazzy, but it's not for me. It's not for me if it's not an MMO. Is it not an MMO? There's no PvP? Okay, Wazzy wants it to be an MMO. Will it be an MMO? Is it aspiring to be an MMO? Why are people saying the scale is similar to Star Citizen if this isn't even an MMO? Wazzy, why are people saying this? You're the spokesperson for this game. Why are people... It's like daggers hitting me from... Oh, God. It's like I'm being stabbed in my skull. What? Why? Why are people comparing this to Star Citizen in terms of... Arm hairs, arm hairs. What say you, arm hairs?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Say you.
Make your dreams come true. Do it. Nothing is impossible. Do it. Make your dreams come true. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just do it.
Okay, and don't get mad. I know people are going to get mad when I say this. Listen to me. I don't care. I don't care if they get mad. Hear me, my personal taste, my opinion. Channel's called DG360. Welcome to it. If you don't like what I'm about to say, try and digest it and fart it out, okay? You might not like my opinion, but I'm going to give it to you. Unfiltered and raw. Thank you, Panda, for that subscription, by the way. Here is the thing. No, the scope is nowhere near Star Citizen. This is just a gaming fact because it is not trying to be an MMO, okay? I thought we said that people were coming in this. I thought we said you were going to have interactions with people, but I guess it's just a co-op in your ship. I'm talking about other people flying other ships, fighting other people in other ships, which sounds like it's not even going to have... I can't land on planets, okay? I can explore everywhere on my own or with friends in my starship, but I can't have interactions with others. I thought that when I was watching this, it said that you would interact with other people in spaceships, and I don't know if I'm getting this right or wrong, and I apologize if this is wrong. But I need an MMO where there's going to be danger in it. It's space. It's supposed to be dangerous. This is the biggest problem that I had with Elite Dangerous is that it was all elite. It was no dangerous. It was going system after system into like NPC. Occasionally you'd have some people. Occasionally there'd be some PvP if you really looked for it. And overall the game's dead. Okay. I thought we were getting like an Elite Dangerous upgrade, like an Elite Dangerous 2.0, and I was even going to accept the fact that planetary landing wasn't a thing. But if this is something that's a solo experience or a co-op experience where you can only have shared instances with gamers in the actual spaceship and not go up against other players or meet other players or have these dynamic situations, then that, to me, the scale goes from this down to that. So for people that are telling me that this has the same scope of Star Citizen, no, you're flat out wrong. If in fact what I'm saying is true about the development of this game. Again, I would have to investigate it more. So I'm apologizing ahead of time if I'm stating non-facts, because I'm just getting my first impression of this. So if you're watching this and you're upset with me and you're somebody who is into StarShip Simulator, tell me below if I'm right or wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll continue to look into this, because there were facets of this that were great. There were facets of this is great. Visually, very great. Very, very appealing. Has a great look. I like the ability to work in your starship. But if I can't have shared experiences with other gamers out there that are flying the spaceship, instantly it takes the scale from pretty big down to the size of a pea. You know? Starlet says, DG needs to be griefed to enjoy a game. Listen, most confrontations most likely are going to be griefing, but there's also some amazing ones that aren't, Starlet. And they might not be as percentage-wise happen as probability-wise happen as often, but they still do happen. Like I've been in MMOs where I've met the best of friends that I still talk to this day. And I wouldn't have had these friends if I wasn't able to handle the danger. Like, being able to accept the danger and the chaos in an MMO makes you a stronger person and gives you the ability to meet other friends. Like, you know, like I've met great friends being able to handle the chaos and loving the sand. It's a sandbox, man. If somebody takes a shovel and throws sand up in your eyes, that shit happens in the sandbox. If somebody comes up, sits next to you and helps you build a sand castle and you have the best day in the sunshine, that happens in the sandbox too. There's a lot of great shared experiences in an MMO. So, you know, if this doesn't have the ability where somebody can sit up right next to me and make a sandcastle with me in my sandbox, no, scope is not big. Scope is not big until, you know, somebody can sit up next to me and maybe offer me a piece of gum in the sandbox. Great. If I can't spit the gum out into the sandbox, I hate that. I hated that about the sandbox. When you found the gum in the sandbox, God damn it, spit your gum outside. Even as a kid, my gum was spit outside the sandbox. I never spit the gum inside the sandbox. How dare you spit your gum in the sandbox? How dare you grief in the sandbox with your gum? That's too much danger. That's too much danger.